When women are getting divorced, they seem to make the same mistakes over and over again, and I don't want that to happen to you. The first and most significant one is not having a well thought out specific plan for how they're gonna handle the money and the kids during the divorce. Here's what I mean. A lot of women, look, we've been in the dark, and I used to say we've been like the guys put us in the dark. You chose to be in the dark, right? You let him handle the money. He dealt with the taxes. He was maybe even the one working and you just didn't worry about it. Well, you're about to have to start worrying about it. You're going to have to figure out how much money does it actually take to live your life. I imagine, if we're really honest, a lot of us ladies, we don't even have a budget. We have no idea how much money it really takes to run our household. That dog don't hunt when you're getting divorced. You need to have a clear plan of how much money is it going to take to run your life. And then how are you going to come up with that amount of money? It's not like just getting some child support is going to run your entire household. That's probably going to be a couple $1,000 a month, more or less. Is that enough to run your entire life? Pay your rent? Pay your car insurance, phones, gas, grocery store? Probably not. So before you even get started on this process, I need you to get really, really clear and specific about what it's going to take to run the financial aspect of your life so that you don't get stuck in this marriage that you don't want to be in or be left at HEB at the grocery store without being able to pay for bread and milk. The second big mistake that women make when preparing to get divorced is they don't have a clear, specific, detailed plan for what's going to happen with the kids. A lot of women, they assume incorrectly that because they're the mom, they're going to have the kids all of the time. I'm going to tell you that's not necessarily the way it works. Now, it may often work that way because maybe you're the parent who's stayed home and done absolutely everything for the kids. But if you're working and you and your husband are on pretty equal playing field when it comes to bedtime, bath time, school pickup, all of that kind of stuff, it's gonna be a pretty close call. So you don't need to just assume, or you'll do so to your detriment, that you're gonna be the one who has the kids all of the time and then you'll get child support. You need to think through, what if I'm not the primary parent of the kid? Or what if it takes an agreement for 50-50 possession schedule? Then what? You need to craft out a plan and then contingency plans of how it's gonna work in terms of your kids and your money before you ever file for divorce. Another big mistake that women make when preparing to get divorced is to continue to treat their partner as their ally and not their adversary. I hate even saying the word adversary because I don't want you to think divorce has to be this huge battle. But the person you're divorcing is more like an adversary than an ally. Let me explain. Whenever you're getting divorced, when it comes to your kids, your money, and your business, whatever you take, he won't take. So your interests are at odds. There's only one pie, and every piece you get, he doesn't get a piece. And so it naturally makes you two against each other. There's really not another way around it when you're in the middle of the process. So the way you've operated in your divorce, in your marriage, has to change when you're going to the divorce. So what we're used to doing as women in the middle of a marriage is going to our husband to confide in, to confess to seek encouragement, to seek advice. When you're divorcing the guy, you can't do that. Like, one of the ones that kills me is people come into our office and they'll say, "Oh, my husband says you're not a good lawyer." I bet that's what he told you because he figured out you were hiring us. Of course, he doesn't want you to hire us. Don't listen to what the person you're divorcing says about your divorce. Listen to yourself. Listen to those people who have your best interests at heart. So at least for a little while, I need you to think of him not as your ally, but as your adversary. One of the top mistakes women make when preparing to get divorced, and this one breaks my heart, is they wait until they're at their very lowest point to make that decision. And here's the thing, if you're at the lowest, worst, deepest, dark moment in your life, you're not gonna make great decisions. You're gonna take a worse deal. You're not gonna be in the best place to be the best mom, to get the best outcome for your kids. So my suggestion to you, if at all possible, is to tie a knot at the end of your rope and hang on and pull yourself up even just a little bit to stability, to some confidence, to some peace before you file for divorce. Because here's the thing, getting divorced, it's rough and it's hard. And it's going to take longer and cost you more than you anticipate. I can already assure you, whatever you think it is, it's going to be harder than that. And it's necessary. And it is likely one of the best things that will ever happen to you, but it has to get worse before it gets better. Kind of like, when you go clean out that hallway closet and things get crazier before it's neat and tidy. That's kind of what a divorce does to your life. And if you wait until you're completely strung out and completely exhausted with nothing left in the tank, you're gonna make worse decisions and be more emotional and more hysterical. That's what lots of divorce lawyers like to call women when we're stressed out because our whole life and kids and money is on the line. And I don't want that for you. So if you can get to a better place before you file, or even better, file before you get there. Don't get to the bottom of the barrel before you decide to take the step that can change the rest of yours and your kids' lives for the better. Don't wait until you're done and completely out of reserves and have nothing else to draw on. Another mistake women make when preparing to get divorced is to change too much too soon, and he figures you out before you're ready. Here's the thing. If people ask me, how do I know whenever divorce is on its way, it's about to happen, I tell them, look, is your partner changing a bunch of stuff all at once? That's a pretty good cue. Learn from that. If you get to the point where you're ready to make this big decision, right? This new person is coming out and probably your give-a-dang is busted. I know that's what happened for me. The way my ex-husband figured out that I was ready to file for divorce is my behavior had changed. When he was mad about something on this one particular day, angry about something, I didn't behave the way I'd always behaved. I didn't chase him. I didn't text him. I didn't call him. What did I do? How can I make it better? How can I take on this burden for something you're pouting about? And it's like something in that with probably some other subtle changes along the way. And he figured out something's different here. And if you don't have your plan in place, you don't have all your paperwork together, you're not mentally and emotionally ready, I don't want him to figure it out before you're ready. This is your information to keep to yourself until you're ready to do what needs to be done to protect your kids, your money, and your business. A monumental mistake that women make when preparing to get divorced is they don't have their paperwork together. Now, look, you're going to be tempted to completely tune me out and be like, I don't even want to think about paperwork, Hannah. I'm sorry, I'm too busy for that. I just need you to do lawyer things and get me divorced. You will do that at your peril. Because here's the thing. Do you have a big, notebook or online file with your tax returns, bank statements, credit card statements, a detailed budget, copies of check registers, all your HR documents from work? What about kids' medical records, stuff from the dentist, stuff from their school? Have you already gotten that organized? If not, I suggest you wait to file for divorce until you get your stuff together. Because here's the thing, if you wait until after the divorce is filed, it may be too late. Some of those accounts, he may remove you as an authorized user. Change the password if you do it together. And then it's going to take a literal act of the court to get you back to that information. So before you ever file for divorce, I really want you to have a robust plan and have actually done it, do the plan for all of your financial documents and all of the documents related to your children. Your entire divorce will be easier, faster, and better if you take this critical step. One huge but subtle mistake that women make when preparing to get divorced is they don't have their mindset handled. And here's what I mean. If you're going to get divorced, I have to tell you, as someone who's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, you got to get your head right. And when you're at the point when you're making this decision, you're probably not thinking about that. But if I could help you get to that point before you ever start, your entire divorce will be faster, easier, and cheaper. So a few steps you can take to make sure your mindset is in the right place to go the long haul is, number one, you can have a framework of self-care. And what I mean by this is not just hey, let's have a glass of wine and chocolate cake on a Friday, but do you have an exercise routine? How's your nutrition doing? Do you get any decent sleep at night? Another thing you can do is start with the end in mind. If you could get a vision for what your life will be like after this divorce is complete, it helps you connect to a why, like Simon Sinek talks about, right? Start with why. Why are you doing this? What's the life you want for yourself and your kids in the future so that when times get tough, you can anchor and come back to that why? Additionally, you need to learn to expect the mind games that are going to happen. Now, I'm not saying this happens in every single divorce, but I can say it certainly happened in mine. The person you're divorcing may do some, I don't even know what to call it because I don't do this sort of thing, but like judo mind tricks on you. He may tell you that because he makes the money, the judge is going to take your kids from you, or that he's conflicted out every single lawyer in the state of Texas, so there's no but way anybody will ever represent you. He may tell you that your kids are going to hate you because you decided you want to divorce their dad. Like, that's just some of them, and it can get a lot crazier. So expect that to happen. And probably the best advice would be to check what he's saying to you with a trusted, rational, reasonable girlfriend and be like, look, does this make sense? Does this sound right to you? So that you can keep a grip on reality, because when you're in the middle of it, you can feel like you're in this swirly whirlpool. I'm envisioning like a Little Mermaid reference, right? Like all of this stuff is happening around you and you can't figure out which way is up, which way is down. So if you have that voice to check against what he's saying, it can help you. So like be prepared in advance for the mind games that will probably come. Another thing you can do is have a robust suite of resources available to you when the going gets tough. And here's what I mean. Ideally, you would have a great support network of friends and family, especially somebody who's already been through divorce or is the child of divorce and can help give some of that context. You're going to need those people to lean on. You're also going to need things like books and podcasts to rely on. You're going to have to do some education here to really go the long haul. And look, don't beat yourself up. You don't know how to get divorced. More than likely, you've never done it before. Or if you did do it before, but you're still watching this video, maybe it didn't turn out the way that you wanted. It's a whole thing. So reading some books like Divorce Poison is one example. Getting a list of that together to return to on those Friday nights when you don't have the kids, to really beef up your mental processes to be able to withstand what you're going through. And then one little kind of fun thing that we have at the firm, we started a Spotify playlist with divorce anthems. So that sort of mood booster music, and that sounds so stupid, but I have to tell you, if I turn on Katy Perry, that Roar song in the car, I still, by the end time I'm out of that car, I'm like, ooh, watch out, I'm gonna roar it. HEB, I don't know what I'm roaring at anymore. But at the time, that was sort of my song that really, when I would turn it on, it re-anchored me to my power, my confidence, my strength, and why I was doing this. So make sure you have a suite of resources that you can tap into that you know works for you to bring your mood and your mindset back into alignment so that you can make choices that your future self and your future children will thank you for.